Hey guys, welcome back to Deepak's Daily Reading, and today we're going to briefly talk about Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield. So I wouldn't even say that I cheated, but I pulled out a export from ChatGPT 4 to get a summary of Turning Pro. So Stephen Pressfield, I think, is a former Vietnam vet, but certainly a former Marine who has quite a compelling story within the world of writers, specifically because he went through He voluntarily put himself through a serious amount of hardship to try and become a writer. I think his wife at that time ultimately left him. He lived out of trailers and lived almost like a hobo, worked as a trucker, went into Hollywood to work as a ad writer, but was earning a pittance and has slept rough many times. And it describes fundamentally, or not this book rather, but he has a different book that was well known within the writing community that I'd read before previously, called The Resistance. That was at the time when I was really interested in becoming a writer, and as I'm still trying to figure out what my journey is in terms of my highest values. Writing, I write every day. If I don't write, I feel that something's not right, and I tend to fall into almost a little bit of depression. So having a creative outlet is incredibly important to me. And this book was mentioned by maybe Benjamin Hardy, but anyway, I've already read some of his work, Stephen Pressfield, so I thought I'd read this book, Turning Pro. And it's a war cry, I guess, in some respects, for anyone who wants to become a professional in what they do, which is about the love of the discipline itself, which is about ultimately being able to say no to the resistance. And the resistance is anything that prevents us from doing the things that we know that we're meant to do. So definitely I feel that actually, since I got married, ironically, when it comes to entrepreneurship, I've turned pro. In terms of my actions, I haven't received the outcome or benefit of my actions, but I do believe now the mere act of, it's Saturday again, I woke up at 4:15, I was out, and I finished this book. I'm doing my reading, and I'm committing to the actions of someone who will be successful rather. So yeah, this book is really about that principle of turning pro. So, and the differences, I'm just going to look quickly through these titles that I've sent here, and I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts and feelings. So yeah, the amateur versus the professional, I'm going to give you my take on it. So definitely getting married ramped up the urgency in my mind of needing to make an income, and make an income incredibly quickly, because we moved to Italy. There's growing financial pressure, and now that I managed to financially stumble through payments for the wedding, there are more payments that wait ahead of us, and I just see that they're continuous. Buying a property here in London, buying a property in Italy, us then renovating that property, all of that costing hundreds of thousands of pounds, then us having children. So I need to significantly level up my income, and there's been an outside force that's pushing me towards becoming at least more of a professional in terms of my daily routine. I still think that there's something I need to search for to understand what this is, what am I doing, what is my higher calling, and I'm still in the process of trying to figure that out. But yeah, the amateur versus the professional is before. I would say that my routine wasn't quite as disciplined, it wasn't quite as structured, and the urgencies were there, but it's heightened even more because the old urgencies are growing. The agency, making salaries actually an end of month meet, because it's still it's still a question mark. We're still recovering. There's still the question of making the catering business become sustainable, because we still live month to month. So some of those same pressures are still there, but there's also new ones that I see now that are more urgent. So it's just all part of the journey. And then yeah, the resistance. I mean, there's various films of the resistance that I have. There was the inertia to learning Italian. I won't speak too much about that. I'm experimenting with something new, but I'll come back to it in a week from now. Habits and discipline. So habits and discipline, it's you know what, I think that it's the discipline to be up every morning, because it sets up my day. And I think I've told you 30 voice notes before. 9 a.m. is a good indicator of my brain buzzing and the value of work. Now, this book wasn't one of those that sent my brain buzzing, if you will, in terms of things to do. but the habits and disciplines of, and the thing that the muscle I'm trying to grow the most, if you will, is my brain. And that's through all of the I say massive, but significant level of input now, I'll say, that I'm taking in. I managed 2 hours 30 again yesterday as well. I want to see if I can push 2 hours 30 again today. That would be great. I should be able to, in theory, let's see, because it's Saturday. But I mean, I have open mornings and open days. So yeah, I won't go too much into the others. I think playing the long game is a great reminder. There is one long game that we're in, and I think that was in the book by Annie Duke, Quit, and reminding yourself that Pearl Lemon, or the Pearl Lemon Group, is one game. Wellness in Italy is going to be a different game. So just context like that. Staying humble, keeping learning, avoid distractions, dedicate yourself to your authentic self. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what my authentic self actually is, in terms of what is it that I want to do, and sometimes I think it's coaching, sometimes I think it's writing, but writing and coaching go quite well together. Anyway, decent book. I think that it's, again, just a reminder of me trying to figure out what is best, but certainly I am acting much more like a pro if I compare myself now to 3 months ago. And yep, these are my takeaways from this book.
Hey guys, it's Deepak Shukla here. I am huge on listening to books on Audible. So if you're interested in getting all of the insights as I discover them through the course of all the books I read, please do comment, like, and of course subscribe, so that you get notified every time we release a video. Thank you so much, and I hope to hear from you soon.